Gesui. Happy nautical twilight. This is the 7th video of Deuteronomy number 28th chapter. Don't think this will be the last one. I have one more after this, but we left off discussing a couple of verses very briefly because I told you I'd go into it more today. So let's rewind just a tad. A tender and delicate woman that could not go upon the ground nor set down her foot over much niceness and tenderness. She will envy her husband that lies in her bosom upon the flesh of her son and daughter, and the filthiness of the afterbirths that come forth from the midst of her thighs, and upon the children that are born the same hour. Now, if you really delve into this, you think, well, I have no idea what's being said here. But further exploration shows you that it's quite a obscure prophecy, very hideous, very frightening. The tender and delicate woman among you who would not have ventured to set the sole of her foot on the ground for delicateness and tenderness. Her eyes shall be evil against the husband of her bosom, and against her son, and against her daughter, and against her fetus, which comes out from between her feet, even against her sons whom she shall bear. Now that's more of a direct passage of it, versus as was originally written, translated, of course, into English by the original text. Now understand this is more usage, first of all, of hyperbole. It's to show the consequences, once again, of violating the commandments and the precepts of our Heavenly Father. This is, again, elongating that pact that he's forming with his children of his church, the Israelites. In this passage is described a woman so refined, and she's so noble, that she's then reduced to what? To blatant savagery. I mean, she wouldn't even walk the streets because of dirt or debris or stones, afraid of ruining the soles of the sandals she's wearing. As a final effort to survive, she's forced to eat her own offspring and her own bodily waste. This is a contrast in which survival outweighs familial love. Survival over the love of their own family. This woman is so pampered and fastidious that her feet avoid touching the ground because it's rough or because there's dirt, as I was alluded to before. She is the epitome of luxurious living in the ancient Near East society. Therefore, she's secluded from the harsh realities of daily life. That's how fastidious she is. Moyses continues describing her depths of starvation, that she will become envious of her husband. Why? Because he's eating the flesh of Homo sapiens. He's eating the bodies of their children while being intimate with her. Can you try to imagine that for a second? Being intimate. He's so hungry, he needs the energy. he doesn't have the energy, so he's feeding himself so he can be intimate with his wife, so he's eating. It remains. Now during this, she becomes so perturbed that while she grows hungry during the intimacy, he dines on such terrifying meals. Yeah, I'll give you a second to digest that. Again, I really do believe Christ gave Moses, like he did St. John, insight into what hell could be like. The afterbirths pertain to the, of course, the placenta. It's very bloody. Having the experience of helping with childbirth on several occasions. So the afterbirths pertain to the bloody placenta, which is, in case you're unaware of this, it's loaded with nutrients. They were even aware of that back then. Being that the body is the epitome of all earth put together, anything coming forth out of the body has got to be quintessentially loaded with nutrients. That's why you see even some creatures, like rodents, they will eat their own ways. Birds, maybe fowl, will regurgitate and re-eat it. Biblically, the placenta is considered to be unclean. Biblically, it's considered to be unclean. However, the woman becomes so ravishingly mad of starvation that she feasts simultaneously both on her newborn, which is known as infanticide, as well as the placenta. Try to imagine this, ladies. Try to imagine this girl. Moyses writes of cannibalism to draw on ancient Near Eastern treaty language in which the people are warned that citizens of dire consequences for breaking the oath by gods and kings. The prophet strives to terrify the descendants of Jacob with hyperbolic warnings, not intended as literal, to remain faithful to Christ. So please understand this. My interpretation of revealing to you that I believe this could be glimpses of hell, because the prophesying of Moses was just so unfathomably incredible, unlike any man has ever seen until St. John of Christ. Absorbing everything as a whole, we take everything together, we can draw the following conclusions. No one escapes divine judgment. I'll say this again. No one escapes divine judgment. The elite, which you consider to be the elite today, and the wealthy are not spared. Moses writes of this even then. Number two, under the most extreme duress, mankind sinks to the lowest forms of depravity. Cannibalism. And number three, a total collapse of and in society. Quite a bit to absorb, so we'll end it here. When we next meet, we have another one coming up, vestation. So when we next meet, we're going to explore around verse 56, depending on where you are with your Until then, Pax Vobis.